We've always been taught, even since we started working for someone else, grab the keys. Don't let them go away. But we've learned, and we've learned the hard way, but having inventory didn't mean we were able to get the work out. And producing the work in a more efficient manner ensured that we could continue to get the work. And what I mean by that is here in our shop, if we run around 50 cars on average, our touch time is usually 2.7 or so a day, which is pretty good, and our cycle time is under 7 days. If we get up to 70 cars, that drops down to less than 2 hours a day, and we're up to 8, 9, 10 days. So in a sense, all we're doing is storing cars, we're not fixing cars. We've got more upset customers, we've got more upset insurance partners, and nowadays, the better we perform, the more work we get. And we find that letting customers know ahead of time what we're going to do and why we're taking it in a week later is really not a problem. They would rather us do that than have their car here sitting on the lot, taking a chance of running out of rental. A lot of the guys that work on the cars were always fearful if I didn't have 3 to take apart, then I wouldn't make any money this week. But in our process, because we've learned to take them apart first, get everything we needed, even though we have less cars, we can work on every car we have here. We don't have to have twice as many in order to work on half of them. Well, with X-ray repair planning, what we have learned is how to better control our whip. By taking the car in, X-ray is simply that, looking inside, looking behind what we could see before.
X-ray repair planning for me has changed the way I do collision work, just based upon, capturing everything up front versus, the last day trying to catch, oh, we need this clip, we need this bracket, you handle the whole supplement right out of the gate. Catching it on the front, it saves you hours of time in the back, running around looking for stuff. With having our repair planner, doing a meticulous disassembly, taking the bumper off, pulling all the fog light covers out and the brackets and stuff and looking at it, making sure it's not broke. It's real easy to look over that stuff, and having an extra set of eyes there while you're doing it, it just makes it that much more beneficial to catch it. But during the X-ray repair process, we have our parts cart set up, a table set up, so that the repair planner, as you're pulling apart, you're pulling apart a bumper. Okay, here's the top grill clips, here's the top corners, here's the shields, and he bags it and makes a kit and hangs it on this cart so that anybody, even if they don't pull it apart, can walk up to it and go, oh, this is the bumper bag, this is the fender bag. It's a kit. It's like putting a puzzle together with instructions. When
we take the car in initially, we map the car out, we mark up everything that's on the original estimate, and then we take it apart. Once we're taking it apart, we bag and tag everything, so it's much easier to put together. But then we start to identify things that weren't identified. Behind the bumper cover, for instance, was the rebar damaged? You may not see that when you're outside. Was the rear body panel damaged? But if we can find that in the initial teardown, or disassembly rather, as opposed to once the guy's working on the car, then once that car goes into process, we have time to get parts and to gather parts. What we've learned, or been able to learn through PPG, was how to make people who actually are doing the work on cars spend more time on the cars as opposed to looking for parts or looking for equipment. So what we learned through our classes was how to label things, how to 5S the shop, how to put things back where they were, and then that eliminated a bunch of time of running around and trying to find it. So all of that really ties into lean, not just the process of how we take the car in and take it apart, but also where are the things that we need to do the work with the cars at. Where are they located? Are they close to where we're working? Are they a long ways away? Does it make sense to go downstairs and get it, or should it be here where we use it? So to me, all of that was part of that, how to streamline that whole process of the repair. My advice to someone starting would be take a lot of the advice from the folks that are teaching these classes, because you follow those guidelines, but you have to tailor them to your own needs. Unfortunately for me, I'm not one of those people that wants to start slow. I wanted to go real fast, but we found out the hard way, if we try to do too many things at one time, it just created more problems than we fixed. So, for instance, with the X-ray repair planning, if I were going to start, I would probably try to start there and say, guys, we're going to create one place here where we disassemble cars. We're going to set it up so we have everything we need, and let's perfect that. And if we agree that this is helpful to our business, then we'll move on to specializing in who puts them together and takes them apart. But that to me would be the most important thing. The other thing I would add, or piece of advice I would add is more communication with the people about to do it. When we first started, we actually sat down with all of the people involved and we discussed how we were going to do it. If we made any changes, we went over it with folks, and then we got some feedback. Is it working? Is it not working? But I guess overall, my advice would be to, try to pick one thing that you think can work instead of looking at the whole picture, and start with something to make that work for you, and then move forward from there.